this video is for Algebra 2, and it's going to be about solving quadratics by completing the square. To solve a quadratic equation by completing the square, the first thing you have to do is get the constant by itself. This is a little bit different from what we've been doing. We usually get everything on the same side. This time you want the constant on one side, your x squared, and your x on the other. You divide the x term's coefficient by 2. So go find the number in front of x, divide it by 2. Whatever you get, you're going to square. That number, what you get after you square it, you're going to add to both sides of the equation. So on the left, you're going to write your x squared and your x and then whatever you got. On the right, you're going to take the number that was there and add to it. So you're going to find the square root of each side. On the left, we're going to talk about how you write it. There's a certain pattern that you always go through. And on the right, you've got to remember that when you take a radical to find the square root, you've got plus or minus. That's where you're going to get your two answers. You can solve for x. So let's look at one. You have to start by getting the constant by itself. So we're going to move this, and we're going to have x squared plus 8x equals 20. You're going to take the number in front of x. In this case, it was 8. You're going to divide it by 2. It's always divided by 2. 8 divided by 2 is 4. Whatever you get here, you square. You always square that. 4 squared is 16. This number gets added to both sides. So it becomes x squared plus 8x plus 16 equals 20 plus 16. Now you know that 20 plus 16 is 36. So you're going to rewrite this side only. And it's always going to start out with x, whatever sign you had there at the beginning, so plus whatever you squared, so 4, close parentheses squared, is equal to your 36. Now the reason we're going to do that is so that we can square root both sides. The square root of this and the square root of this. On the left, that x plus 4 quantity squared, when you square root it, you just take the squared away and it becomes x plus 4 equals plus or minus the square root of 36 is 6. Your last step is that this 4 has to move over here. So x is equal to plus or minus 6 minus 4. So get your two answers. X is equal to 6 minus 4 is 2. And x is equal to negative 6 minus 4 is negative 10. Seems confusing, but once you see the pattern, it's not that bad. So find a term that must be added to both sides of the equation. So first of all, get the constant by itself. It already is. Take the number in front of x, so that's 30. Divide that by 2. It's always divided by 2. 30 divided by 2 is 15. This number gets squared. 15 squared is 225. This is what gets added to both sides, so your answer is C. Take the number in front of x squared. Don't worry about the sign. It's just 10. We always divide by 2. 10 divided by 2 is 5. We always square that. 5 squared is 25. So you're adding 25 to both sides. Okay, so we're actually going to solve. Make sure the constant's by itself. It is. Take the number in front of x. Ignore the sign, just the number. So 6 divided by 2, always divided by 2, is equal to 3. You will always square this number. 3 squared is 9. 9 gets added to both sides. So x squared minus 6x plus 9 equals 40 plus 9. You're going to rewrite this as x minus, because I had a minus, 3 because that's what I squared, close parentheses squared, equals 40 plus 9 is 49. We need to unsquare it, so we're going to square root both sides. X minus 3 equals plus or minus 7, because the square root of 49 is 7. Last step is to move that 3. X is equal to plus or minus 7 plus 3. So get your two answers. X is equal to 7 plus 3 is 10. X is equal to negative 7 plus 3 is negative 4. Make sure your constant's by itself. Take the number in front of x, divide it by 2, you get 3. Square it, you get 9. Add it to both sides. X squared plus 6x plus 9 equals 16 plus 9. Rewrite x plus 3 quantity squared. It's plus because they had a plus. It's 3 because that's what I squared. Equals 16 plus 9 is 25. Square root. So x plus 3 equals plus or minus 5. Move your 3. X is equal to plus or minus 5 minus 3. X is equal to 5 minus 3 is 2. X is equal to negative 5 minus 3 is negative 8. Got to move that 63. So x squared plus 2x equals a positive 63. Take the number in front of x, divide it by 2, get 1, square it, and get 1. Add it to both sides. X squared plus 2x plus 1 equals 63 plus 1. Rewrite x plus 1 quantity squared equals 64. Square root x plus 1 equals plus or minus 8. Move your 1. X equals plus or minus 8 minus 1. X equals 8 minus 1 is 7. X equals negative 8 minus 1 is negative 9. Got to move that 24. A squared plus 11a equals negative 24. Take the b, divide it, or the number that was in front of a, by 2, and you get a decimal. Do not panic, you have a calculator. 11 divided by 2 is 5.5. Square that, 30.25. Add that to both sides. A squared plus 11a plus 30.25 equals negative 24 plus 30.25. Rewrite a plus 5.5 quantity squared is equal to 6.25. Square root a plus 5.5 is equal to 2.5, I think, plus or minus. Move to 5.5, a is equal to plus or minus 2.5 minus 5.5. A is equal to 2.5 minus 5.5 is negative 3. A is equal to negative 2.5 minus 5.5 is negative 8. There's nothing to move as far as a constant, so work with what you got. Number in front of x divided by 2, 2.5. Square it, 6.25. Add that to both sides. X squared plus 5x plus 6.25 equals 0 plus 6.25. Rewrite it. X plus 2.5 quantity squared equals 6.25. Square root it. X plus 2.5 equals plus or minus 2.5. Move your 2.5. X equals plus or minus 2.5 minus 2.5. x equals 2.5 minus 2.5 is 0. X equals negative 2.5 minus 2.5 is negative 5. This was solving quadratics by completing the square.